Well, it's a very good morning from him. And of course, it's a very good morning from me. I hope you're all well. Hope everybody is fine. Welcome to my mortgage live stream. We've had a day off last week. Of course, it was a bank holiday. We have a lot of bank holidays this time of year, don't we? I think we've got another one coming up in June, haven't we? I'm not sure. Anyway, hope you enjoyed your long weekend last weekend. Of course, this weekend's been great weather across most of the UK, if not where you are as well. In fact, we're going to come back to the subject of the UK in a second as well with a topic that we've got for you, because I want to talk about the UK ISA, which might be something that might work out really well. We don't know yet, do we, what's going to happen with that score? But people calling it the British ISA, but that's wrong. And we mustn't forget, obviously, Northern Ireland is part of UK. You see, this whole thing. That's why we call it UK. It's a UK ISA. Anyway, enough of that. Hope all is good with you. Lots going on here. Lots of changes happening. We've got new stuff coming in August, September. The economy's kind of doing a few things productively at the moment, isn't it? Housing market's not really picking up yet. Mortgage rates, interest rates, not sure about those at this stage either. Although there is talk. Was it Andrew Bailey? I saw a lovely video. It was a mock video on YouTube or LinkedIn, and it was Andrew Bailey, the governor of the Bank of England, superimposed as Brandon Flowers in The Killers, where he goes out into the crowd. And he was doing all this and dancing. It's probably done on TikTok. It was so funny. And there was Andrew Bailey. Yes, we're going to reduce interest rates. you had to see it. It was brilliant. I don't know how they did it with some clever AI anyway. But Andrew Bailey's not exactly the most animated of characters, is he, really? But I don't care, as long as the interest rates come down, at least by 0.25%, just to give the market a bit of a push, really. Even if it only comes down quarter in the summer and quarter in the autumn, I think that'll do. And I was reading an article about interest rates probably stabilising at about the 4% bank base rate. 4%. I mean, it's 5.25 now. It's not that much of a drop, and it will stay at that figure for a long time, if not forever. Don't think it's going to get back down to the 0% again. That's not going to happen. So if your customers, your clients are waiting to move, wait for rates to come back down to 2% again, they will not be down 2% in our lifetime. Wait and see. Get used to the higher rates. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on to my first topic today. And as you know, we're kind of updating stuff ready for the new syllabus that's coming in, and we always update things anyway and put it onto our boot camps and all our materials to make sure that you're studying the latest information, and you've got new insights and changes coming as well. So I want to take a look at some ISAs, really, bit of a refresh, bit of a reboot on ISAs. So that's what we're going to do with you today. Now, first of all, let's head over to my whiteboard, because I'm going to make a little note of a few things going on here. Now, ISAs refreshed for 2024-25. A couple of changes worth mentioning, just to sort of supplement your knowledge, really. But everything else remains very much the same. And in fact, ISAs had a birthday last year. I don't know if you're aware. They had their 25th birthday. There you go. Was last year. They were created in 1999. I just wanted to share a picture with you. Actually, it was going to be a bit of a quiz show, really. The one I want to show you now is a picture of something that was being built. And I was going to ask you what year that was. And of course, you can't talk to me, can you? So in 1999, this thing was being built. That's the Millennium Dome, as it was known as. Now it's called the O2 Arena. But it was designed to celebrate the millennium. Now, ISAs began then. We had cash and we had stocks and share ISAs at the time. And interesting figures came out. I went on to Vanguard, and they gave me this very interesting graph. So thank you, Vanguard, for this one. They gave me this very interesting graph which illustrates how well your ISA would have done if you invested the maximum you possibly could. There you are, in April 1999. Now, as you can see, of course, the orange is the cash. So as you see, cash ISAs increase each year with interest rates. So you get annual interest rate, don't you? And the interest rate hasn't done much, really, as you can appreciate. So your ISA would have, if you put the maximum in, it would have been just above the £200,000 mark. But the share one's interesting, the stocks and shares ISA. In the early noughties, the stock market did very little growth, particularly the FTSE 100, tiny growth. In fact, it slipped behind cash in the financial crash. Can you see that there? But as things began to pick up, the economy picked up in about 2012, 2013, which coincided, by the way, with the Olympic Games. Not a lot of people know that, because the Olympic Games was one of the main reasons for us coming out of recession. Amazing, isn't it? Or the crash, anyway. And then, of course, the last few years had a bit of a blip there during the pandemic, a little bit of a blip there with the war in Ukraine. And now, of course, it's surging away. And they reckon that if you put the maximum into your ISA for each year, you would have had £900,000 in your ISA, with all the dividends rolled up, etc., which is brilliant. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into some of the facts and figures. So ISAs haven't changed an awful lot, just to remind you of the different types of ISAs for you and some of the limits that are still in place for this tax year as well. So let's just put another picture up there for you. I've got a nice little graph here, ISA types explained, just to review them for you. There's your popular cash ISA. You can put up to £20,000 into that. Similar to a savings account, but no tax. That's the beautiful thing about it. Of course, your money is also protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, so that's good news all round, isn't it? Now, of course, you can split your money amongst different types of ISAs. Here's the lifetime ISA, the LISA. That doesn't count as such. Well, it counts towards 20, but you can only put £4,000 each year into the LISA, as it's known as. Stocks and shares ISA, that's 20,000. Invest in shares and funds without paying tax on your return, so no tax on the dividends and no capital gains tax if you cash it in. So that's a really good one as well. Stocks and shares ISA. Junior ISA for juniors. This is one of the changes I'm going to come out for you. This is for juniors, of course, and it has its own £9,000 limit. And then Innovative Finance ISA, invest in peer-to-peer lending, but that's not protected by the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. Not particularly popular, the Innovative Finance one, but there's a little change to that one coming up as well, which I don't know, might make it a little bit more popular, really. Don't forget you've got the AIM ISA as well, which is invested in the alternative investment market. So, of course, that's a very high risk new company type of thing. So, depending on your client's risk attitude, you can certainly put your money into that one. A lot of people don't quite get the stocks and share thing. Stocks and shares is great, but it's not just shares. Just to confirm that for you then, what you can put into a stocks and share ISA. As you can see from the graph there, you've got UK stocks, US stocks, worldwide shares if you wanted to, ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, which are passive investments, investing around some kind of tracker, looking at the market. Investment trusts, of course, unit trusts, REITs, bonds. You can put all sorts of things into your ISA. So there's very little you can't put into an ISA, really. And even the NatWest shares, when they get launched to the public later this year, it's got all quiet about that, really. You can put those into an ISA as well. There was talk of the government selling off NatWest shares to the public in a share bonanza, but it's gone very quiet on that at the moment. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the changes then. I've given you the limits and things like that. So 3 or 4 different changes. First of all, new for this year. Let's just put this up here. New. Here you go. So we know what's coming out now. This tax year, you can actually open and pay into multiple ISAs now in the same tax year. So you could have lots and lots of ISAs, as long as you don't exceed the limit, of course. But you can pay into lots of different ISAs if you wanted to. I mean, who does that? But anyway, there we go. Now, the minimum age for the GISA, or the junior ISA, is now being heightened to 18. It was 16, I showed you on that graph a second ago. It's now being taken up to 18. So that's, well, I should rephrase that. Junior ISA is still the same. It's the minimum age for a cash ISA. Let's just put that one in there for you. Cash ISA. There we go. So that we know what we're talking about there. There you go. So the cash ISA is 18, which is the minimum age for somebody to start up an ISA, which, is not a big deal. There's not many 16-year-olds save their money, or their own money anyway, but they can do. A couple of changes. You can transfer your ISA from provider to provider now if you want to, any time. So if I was with provider A, I could transfer my money to provider B if I wish to do so. And you could transfer all your existing ISAs as well to another provider. It's quite a useful thing if you wanted to maybe put it into one sort of platform, like a Vanguard platform, for example. You might want to put all your money into that one app, so you can see how much your money is just by clicking on a phone, if you want to do that as well. Innovative ISAs, the ones that invest in peer-to-peer lending, they allow you now to put into longer term assets. So your innovative finance ISA, you can now put into more longer term assets as opposed to short term peer-to-peer. A bit more detail required on that one, but I don't know if that's been a very popular one really, innovative finance. But the big one, of course, is the UK ISA. There you go. It's been talked about that they're going through consultation with industry experts, and some people love it, some people hate it. It seems to be very tribal these days, isn't it? Everyone seems to love something or hate something. Nobody's on the fence. The UK ISA is intending to let you put more money into it. Another £5,000 a year is what they talked about, so long as it only invests in UK shares. How that's going to work, probably UK FTSE 100, 250 shares or something. I don't know how that's going to work. The only problem, of course, is most of the FTSE 100 share companies actually do most of their business abroad. So, not entirely. You don't get a company really that only does business in the UK. Well, you do, but few and far between. So, I'm not sure how they're going to make that work. But it's a good idea, promoting the UK rather than the worldwide. But that's up to the client to decide that, isn't it, at the end of the day. So lots going on in the ISAs, really. And I can remember 1999 when ISAs were launched in the April of that year. We had this thing called the Millennium Bug. We all reckoned that computers were going to all crash at the end of the decade or end of the century. And we were thinking about aeroplanes falling from the sky, because of the dates triggering over. Computer programmers only did dates for 2 digits. Rather than 4 digits, and the year 2000 was going to crash everything. I don't know how it all got fixed, and it never became a problem in the end. But that was a long time ago, 25 years ago. Great. So that's an update for you then on ISAs, just to keep you involved in what's going on there for you. We're going to wrap up a nice short and sharp little live stream today. Hoping you're going to have a great week ahead of you. As always, if you want to get onto our database, you can do. Just put your email address in, that QR code there, get onto our database, our membership, and that of course gives you lots and lots of benefits and beautiful things emailed to you on a weekly basis. We send out a weekly update for you, a written update for you, which is new insights, new ideas, that sort of thing for you. Other than that, I'm going to wish you all a very happy week. Enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you next week.